Hello, this is Gary from JesusIsMyFriend.com Ministries, and today I want to talk to you a little about a lesson I learned about 4 months ago. It's a lesson that I believe has changed my life, and as simple as it is, I think if you will receive it, and if you will let it deep down into your spirit, I think it could well change you, and it could change the people around you. And this lesson was taught to me by a mighty man of God, Mike McGrath, who you all know. And it was from when I was spending some time with him. And I really feel that as simple as the lesson is, it's impacted me in a profound way. And the lesson is drawn from the story where Moses is being sent by God to deal with Egypt, and Moses doesn't have a lot of confidence in himself, and he doesn't really see how he can achieve anything on his own. And God says to him, "What is in your hand, Moses?" And Moses replies, "A staff," basically a big rod, a piece of wood. And God tells him to throw it on the ground, and it turns into a snake. And basically, Moses is to take this rod and to demonstrate God's miraculous power. Well, the point of the story is that it doesn't matter what was in Moses' hand. It could have been anything. It could have been a flower, a brick, a rug, anything. It wouldn't have mattered. The power. The point is the power of God, and that God could have used anything to demonstrate His power. It just so happened that Moses had this rod. So, in this day and age where the world is crying out for Jesus, is crying out for the saving and healing power of Jesus, the question I have to you is, what is in your hand and what are you using to demonstrate the power of God? When I was, I spent time with Mike, for about 3 or 4 months. My wife and I lived with him due to just the circumstances that were in our lives. And when I came to Mike, I was kind of frustrated, I've been out of Bible college for a couple of years. I've had a call of God on my life for as far back as I can remember, from when I was a little boy. And I've always known that I was to serve the Lord, and I didn't really know how or what to do. I remember saying to Mike, I've got this idea in my head of where I'm supposed to go for the Lord. I know what I'm supposed to do, and I know what I'm supposed to be eventually, but it's like, here's what I'm supposed to do, and here's where I am now. And I don't know how to get from point A to point B. And Mike just looked at me and said, "What is in your hand?" And he explained the lesson. And I was sitting there and I was thinking about it. Okay, so I'm up in the mountains in Virginia here. I don't have a ministry. I don't have a position. All I have is the Word of God. God's been speaking messages to me for a couple of years, and I have a burden to get them out there. And I had the internet. And I had a small microphone, so I started making a few little videos, and basically that's how Will and I came into contact, and how this whole Jesus is my friend vision was birthed. Will had kind of kicked it off, but it really came complete when Mike and I came involved and made it complete. But the point is, everything that's going on now, from my perspective, I know Will had his own perspective of it, but from my perspective, was kicked off by Mike telling me that simple lesson. I took what I had. All I had was a computer, I had an internet connection, I had a microphone, and I had the Word of God. And over the past 4 months since I've started doing that, it's been amazing to me. God has used me to lead people to the Lord over the internet, to pray for the sick and they've been healed, to counsel people, to offer them biblical wisdom. Every single day the Lord is able to use me to minister in people's lives. And I'm a person who has no qualifications. I didn't even leave Bible college with any qualifications, but I used what is in my hand. So again, the question to you is, what are you doing for the Lord? What are you using? What have you got that's available to you? What audience do you have? Who are the friends that are around you? What groups are you in? What workplace are you in? Because I can guarantee you that most of you, and I know a lot of you, will be sitting thinking, "Oh, but I don't know how to preach. I don't know how to do this. Why would anyone listen to me?" Well, like I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your staff is. It doesn't matter what's in your hand. All that matters is that you're willing to use that. Because whenever you're willing to use whatever you've got, God will send His power on it. And I've seen that so much over the past 3 months. It has been unreal. It's been exciting. Just because I said, "Okay, Lord, here's what I've got. I am willing to use it. Now you do the rest." Because ultimately it doesn't matter what talents we have. We can be the most talented whatever. We can be the most creative, charismatic speaker. But it won't matter if it doesn't have the power of God. And likewise, you can be a nervous person who might shuffle up to a pulpit and mutter a few words under their breath and be all nervous. But if the power of God hits you, I can guarantee you will be able to convert the masses. So again, what is in your hand and what are you doing with it? What has the Lord given you? Look around you, look at the people who you have to influence. Look at the tools at your disposal, and they can be anything at all. Obviously I can't come up with ideas because I don't know your life, but all I know is what I had, and I know that I took that lesson and I let it drop into my spirit, and it has changed my life. And as a result, I know it has changed other people's lives too. I know there are people who got saved not by my power, but because the power of God was able to lay on what I was doing. And people came to know Christ through it, and people have been healed through it, and people have been taught and encouraged, and backsliders have been come back, and people who were nearly backslidden were encouraged to get themselves back up and dust themselves down, and not by my power, but by the strength of the Lord and by His power. So today, whatever you're doing, just contemplate it. If you're doing nothing for the Lord, use whatever is in your hand. Doesn't matter what that thing is. God will send His power on it if you would only try and use it for His sake. This is Gary Clark at JesusIsMyFriend.com Ministries. Wishing you all the best. Check out the site if you haven't been on in a while. Enjoy the features that are there. Enjoy the fellowship. But I love you, and I hope you have a great day. God bless.